Hello and welcome to a new video, welcome to a new vlog, welcome back to another day in my life. In New York City, it is a snow day. New York City just experienced its first snowstorm of the year, but also 2016 was probably the last one. And I do remember it because I was playing in the park with Harrison. He was a puppy. It hadn't snowed like that in so long. It's hard to walk on the sidewalk. It's hard because of the salt, so it's not great for the dogs. And we are kind of quarantining at home, not just because of a snow day, but also because if you clicked on this video, I kept this news from you for the last 3 weeks or a month. Harrison had 2 surgeries, and let me tell you that it was not a great start of the year. I mean, it took over our holiday time, which is why I said on Instagram it was such a sad and lonely time. Now you know why. And yeah, we started January with my little boy going through 2 surgeries, and we are at home resting and recovering. And I just want to start this video by saying he's fine. I think we have the worst behind us. He's doing good, he's recovering well. But I didn't know if I should share that news, but then I think most of you, yes, most of you watch these videos also because of Harrison. I get why, because I cannot imagine my life without him. It just felt weird to keep going normal with the vlogs without telling you that huge thing that was going on for the last weeks. I haven't been able to vlog while keeping this, I don't want to say a secret, but while keeping this from you. So I just want to explain a little bit of what happened and how he is and spend the day with you. Since it's a snow day, it is a perfect time for me to work from home and also enjoy almost my lunch break to film this video and be able to post something this week. So welcome to the vlog. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like. If you want to wish Harrison a good recovery, also leave us a comment. Let us know how you are and how you feel and any tips you have to make my little puppy as comfortable as he can, as he's watching me from his bed right now. Hi, baby. And here's Mr. Harrison. Proof that he is recovering and taking his naps very seriously. I don't even know how to begin this. I'll give you mostly a summary because I don't want this video to be an hour long. If you have kids, if you have pets, you know that you can talk on and on about the traumas, you know, healthcare and health scare. And that's exactly what happened for us. Back in September, October, Harrison was losing blood. We went to the vet, which told me that he most likely needed his anal gland expressed, which happens to a lot of dogs, and it never happened to him in 10 years. I could tell that he had kind of a scratch on his anus, so he was losing blood, especially when I was, you know, cleaning it after the walk, after he went number 2. The vet told me that it would heal, that I needed to, you know, keep an eye on it and keep it clean, but it should go back to all normal, and it was most likely a scratch when he was cooling. That's what I did. And then a month or so later, it was still not healed. The wound was still there. The wound was also changing. Like at first, it almost looked like a little bit of a hole, almost like a hole from a scratch that wouldn't close. And now it started to change a little bit of shape, and it started to form like a ball. So I cleaned it like every day, like multiple times a day, every time he would go to the bathroom, and nothing would do. You know, it was losing a bit of a crust or not. I mean, I don't want to go into too much details. I called back to the vet and I asked for an appointment to get it checked up because I didn't think it was normal. So we went back to the vet and they did a cytology to analyze it and know a little bit more about what it was. We spent the holidays a little bit stressed. You know, Christmas I was stressed. On New Year's Eve of all days, I got the news. It was an anal gland tumor. It was most likely benign, and she told me that I had a choice of leaving it and see if it would grow, or I could just remove it. Mind you, at this point, she also told me that she thought it was growing, and I also saw that it was forming more like a ball. So I definitely knew that that thing was growing. So of course, I said, what would you recommend if it was your dog? And she said, I would remove it within 3 months. The fact that it was growing, I just didn't want to wait. I mean, what's the point in waiting if we're going to remove it anyway? So I asked for a quote and any details she could give me, which she was not very vocal about the detail. I hung up the phone. She sent me the quote. The last place you want to go or you want to be in when you hear about something scary is the internet, which is exactly where I went because I needed a little bit more details about what it was, the causes, the treatment. And that's when I found out, mind you, through ChatGPT, that this type of tumor was pretty common for males that were intact, and Harrison had still his balls, yes, at 10 years old. This is another story onto why I never went through castration with him. This type of tumors, they could be caused by an excess of testosterone, so basically my little boy is too much of a big man. Anyhow, ChatGPT, thank you. I called back the vet and I was like, thanks for the quote. By the way, should we remove his balls? So she sent me another quote and yeah, I told her we would go ahead with it, even though it was in the back of my mind of why not going back to France and having the surgery there, because it would have been way cheaper, including the price of a ticket, and also maybe more comfortable for him to recover, as you know, here we live in a walk-up and over there would be a house. But I didn't want to take my chances, and also my thought was that in New York City there's so many dogs that I was most likely to get a surgeon that was very used to performing these types of surgeries. Right after New Year's we went for blood work at the vet to make sure that he was fit for surgery, and this little 10-year-old is in perfect health otherwise. He was definitely strong enough. We scheduled the surgery for January 15th. That's when it became even more real and scary, because now I had a due date. The surgery would happen and I would have to leave him overnight. I could not visit, and I just had to basically leave control to someone else, very trusted hands of a surgeon. Since he's never been under before, I was extremely stressed and also very lonely going through that, because no one was in New York. I mean, no one who offered their helps were in New York. So I had mental support through people from the distance. Definitely was difficult mentally. I took the day off before the surgery because I wanted us to have a last normal day, which hopefully was the last one for a while, not the last one at all, but you know, it's always in the back of your mind. We just enjoy a normal day and took a lot of walks in the park and gave him everything he wants to eat and tried to comfort us. The day of the surgery, I dropped him off at 9 a.m. and my heart completely broke because he had to see me leave to understand that he was staying there, which, let me tell you, my dog, when he goes to the vet, he shakes like a washing machine. I had no choice. I sobbed like a crazy person on the street, and then I went straight to work because I didn't want to stay alone. There was no use of me just waiting by the phone. When I dropped him off, the receptionist told me that I should get a call that same day about how the surgery went between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. And she also didn't fail to mention, while I was already crying at the vet, that if he would call me before that, it was not necessarily a good thing. Exactly the words you want to hear when you're already stressed and in tears. So I went to work and I waited and I waited. 2:30 p.m. my phone rang. With what that receptionist said, my heart was definitely down in my stomach. Thankfully, it was the surgeon who told me both procedures went really well and he should be recovering fully, and that I could pick him up the next day. So that definitely put my mind to ease, and I couldn't wait for the next day, but I had to distract myself. So I think I stayed working until 8 p.m. and then I went to Trader Joe's to make sure I had all the groceries. For the following 2 weeks, I don't have to leave the house and I don't have to leave him because he has stitches under his belly and also, you know, around his anus. So that was definitely not a great way to start the year. So here's the summary of how it went. On the Friday morning, I got him back. We took an Uber back home. He was wearing a e-collar, and let me tell you, it was heartbreaking because every time he was breathing, he was whining at the same time of pain. He didn't move for the following 3 or 4 days. And I almost went back to the vet because of that. But he's been recovering really well. He's a real good boy, very strong boy. Going down the stairs, I've been crazy. So I've been quarantining at home with my little boy, and it feels good to just be the two of us. I just feel that the worst is behind us, hopefully. Welcome to my new bed. This is our new corner. You want to come? This is where we sleep now. This is our little bedroom setup. We've been sleeping on the floor for the last 10, 11 days since he came home from his surgeries, and it's been very comfy. Oh yes, as you can tell. The reason for that is he does have stitches in 2 places of his body, so he's not allowed to run, but he's also not allowed to jump. And knowing my little boy, he loves to be on the bed with me in the morning. That's usually when he comes and snuggles. So I didn't want to take any chances for him to hurt himself, so I decided the easiest way would be to sleep on the floor. He is flashing you. This is actually the easiest way for us to sleep because he is wearing an e-collar during the night. He's supposed to wear it all day long, but he's been so good at not trying to lick the wounds that I've been trusting him during the day, and also because I don't leave his side, or I should say he doesn't leave my side, because this dog became very much glued to me ever since surgery, which is understandable. But if I sleep at night, I can't see if he's gonna lick or not, so just to be careful, I put the e-collar for him to go to bed, which means he cannot fit in his little bed, which is also why we sleep here, because he does end up sleeping with me a lot. It's more comfortable, as you can tell. He's falling asleep right now. I rearranged this setup the night before he came, so the day of his surgery. I figured it out, and I am really lucky to have a big bedroom because I didn't have to take down my bed. I just had to put the mattress on the corner of this room. It took me a while to film and then edit this video because I wasn't sure how to express what happened, to, express my feelings. And I realized while editing this video that I actually never finished it. I didn't even say goodbye. So here is a little clip of me prepping the bedroom for Harrison to come home the next day and making sure that my mattress would fit on the ground because I didn't want to take down my bed. I'm lucky enough that everything fitted that way and that I could put my desk behind the door. Full disclosure, I never ended up using the desk. I just worked from my living room table. I don't know, maybe I don't need a desk anymore. This is what happened in January and why you haven't seen that much of me and Harrison. While everyone was celebrating the new year and being so hopeful about 2026 and setting up goals, we were just going through it and making sure that we could be together for a long time after that. It was definitely a hard start of a year, very stressful, very scary, but I am really happy that Harrison is home with me. He's recovering very well. I think it's weird for me to see myself back because I realized that I look very calm from the outside while explaining the situation. On the inside, it's another story. I was freaking out the entire month. I was also still crying once he got home because, I don't know, I guess the trauma of almost losing him. I hope you enjoy the transparency and I hope you're doing well. I hope if you have pets that they are very healthy. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you very soon. Ciao!